Hello, people. How are we doing this evening? I hope we are well and doing just swimmingly. So this is my second live of the day. I did a impromptu live stream at about what time did I do that live stream? I think I did it about midday, 12 o'clock time, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was something a bit different. So if you saw it, please let me know what you thought. It's a way that I think I might be able to do the live streams in the future. It's there if anyone wants to watch it at the end. Mental health chat. In again, Jake and everyone else. Yeah, mental health check-in, please, people. Mine is an 8.5. I get to celebrate my little boy's first birthday tomorrow. So I am a very, very happy man. And then at the weekend, I get to celebrate my little girl's big girl in terms of a gap birthday at the weekend. So I am very good with it. But we're here to talk about that performance last night. And if you compare it to Preston, it was a better game and how we performed. But in general, at home, we're just utterly crap. There's a problem with us at home at the minute, and it was interesting with the video I did about Danny and his ambition. And it did what I wanted it to do. We get people talking and trying to see what people thought it might have meant. And there's a couple of things that I do want to say. A lot of people in the a lot of people were very much saying it's Danny's team night for most of the Danny players, and they're right when you look at it. Hang on a moment. Let me just get this working. There we go. Happy birthday, Thembo. Anything nice happening for him? Little boy, nothing really. He's only one, so he won't remember much of it. But my little girl is having her first birthday party that she's had on Saturday. So she's having a birthday party and she's looking forward to it. So that's what we're doing there. So it's been a really good time planning that. So tonight's stream might not be as long as normal. Just want to help the missive with wrapping stuff. I don't think there's a problem with Johnson, Masaba, maybe Gassama, and more Moose like the first few minutes. Moose didn't pass to Marvin, and the thing is that yeah, but I don't think there's an issue with Johnson and Masaba. I think it's more Masaba doesn't look up. Masaba's initial instinct is to run and cut inside and shoot. His instinct isn't to pass the ball and give it to someone to be creative. I saw the same thing you did, DJ. I don't think there's a problem. I think Masaba just doesn't look up. He doesn't look up, he listens. His first instinct is to run with the ball, cut inside, and shoot. He doesn't think about getting the ball in. He's looking for that glory thing. Where Johnson's a bit older, he knows about how to work and play as a team. Gassama does it a lot. Gassama is the same. His first instinct at times is to run at them and not pass it. And it's more about what we said before. The decision making with those two players is a slight issue. I won't lie. I think the decision making with those two is a big issue. And I think it's something they both need to improve upon. But like some people have said in the past, is that something you can teach? Is that something you can improve upon? Is it something you can train? Like decision making. It's like, it's either you got it or you're not. Have we got a lot of good footballers who don't have footballing brains? That's something that's a cliche in the buzzword you use. Maybe Mara told him those and with him and not listening, that's the problem. There might be a problem between them. It's like, it'll be interesting to see, but I don't want us to go down the line of that. I think at the minute, this side at home get frustrated with each other so easily. Like, genuinely, at home, they are so frustrated with each other. I just realized I don't have a drink, so give me a minute. Let me bloody hell, it's cold. Jesus Christ, it's freezing. But yeah, I think I generally think there is a decision-making situation with it. And one of the reasons why
Give us
McNeil wasn't on the bench last night, he picked up a knock. He had got a knock, which this time of year where you're looking to change things up is not what you want. There were some good passages of play in that game for us, and we just didn't take the chance. Did I think Blackburn were that good? Yes and no. I thought they did a job. I generally thought they did a decent job on us. But that's what you don't have to do too much versus us at the minute. Past 2 home games in particular, both teams knew how to kill game, go down, waste time, kill momentum, frustrate crowd. Yeah, very much so. It's very similar, isn't it? It very much so. We were stupidly looking for a goal. The combinations of last-ditch defending of our forwards not having their shooting boots on. Another day we got 3 or 4. That's the thing. This is the thing that's really annoying me, is we've had so many games this season like that where we have generally put up a decent display, and we've had a lot of good chances and nothing sticked. Like, they had 8 shots, 3 on target. We had 16, 4 on target. You want that more the same. We had 8 shots off, they're 3 off. Block shot for them 2. We made their goalkeeper pull off 4 saves. They only made Beadle do 2. They committed 12 fouls. We had 8 corners in that game. 8. And not one of them, apart from possibly the Valerie and possibly the Iorfa one, was anything close to being on target. Injury rate board after that last night. The thing is that we are a mid-table team at the minute. This is how mid-table teams perform. Like, generally, a mid-table tonight, Millwall could go above us, so they will put us on for 13th place. We are a mid-table team, right? Now, a couple of seasons ago, if you told a load of Sheffield Wednesday fans you'd be mid-table in the Championship, they'd bit your hands off. They would have bit your hands off and gone, yep, I don't mind that. That's fantastic. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Like, generally, I do think there would have been people going very happy with a mid-table finish, right? And when we had Milan, we had mid-table finishers, and they weren't that bad. Now, the thing is, if you're going to have a mid-table finish, you really have to say, what is the net progression after that? The net progression after that, you want it to be going on to the next bit. The thing we need to do this season is consolidate being a Championship club. Now, Danny did say afterwards about the ambition and his ambition, the club's ambition. I'm going to take that as a very green manager who's new to the job, who want to be up here, but isn't yet. And that's the thing. A team of our level should be aiming for at least 50% of shots on target. That'll be a goodish level. It should be 50%. But we know this team isn't clinical. This team hasn't been clinical for 3 or 4 seasons. Even when we were in League One, we were never really clinical, kind of thing. Most of the goals that Smith got were all mainly penalties. I hate our fan base sometimes calling for... There's a lot who are calling for Danny's head. There's a lot who are calling for Danny to be... who saying he's been found out. He doesn't know what his first 11 is. He's been here a year and he's still no change and there's no difference. I've heard it all. Anyone who's saying that Danny being here a year and there's no difference, no change, need to have a look at last year's table to this. Now, a lot of these players are Danny's players and Danny needs to figure out how to get them in. Now... right now, if you look at what we're trying to build, a season of consolidation in the Championship would be a godsend this season. Not having to worry about getting into playoff, because that's I think that it's not well gone. It could happen, but I don't think that's something we're going to be able to do at all. Like, generally, if we do it, fantastic, but I generally don't think that mentality to be in there. You've got a couple like the Windass, Bannon, Palmer. There's probably 1 or 2 others who think that if we can think like that and do it. But we would have to be on a really different level for it. My interaction with Wenty fans is now mostly on the channel now. Most of you seem sensible. Yeah, Barry, the thing is, I think I've got a couple of people who are like that. My issue is I have to deal with some of the idiots on Facebook groups and some of the Twitter lot, and it's not all like this. I love Danny to bits. He kept us up. I believe he'll take it forward, and that's what he's building up for the console. Yeah, I mean, I think people need to have a look and think about where we were last season to where we are now. And I know Danny doesn't want to keep looking at the past. He keeps saying that was last season. We're moving forward. The annoying thing for me, the way we played in that first half was ideal for Ugbo being played for ball going into it, and then we changed it. Ugbo isn't being played as your normal number 9. And that's the thing that annoys me. You play him as a 9, you get him into those positions, you get those balls in. The amount of times that Johnson crossed the ball in and it was just flat a line and all it needed was someone to get a toe on the end at times. It's just so frustrating. But the thing is, you'll look at this and maybe at the weekend we'll go and have a decent-ish performance and then we'll be like, well, where's that performance? Where's that at home? There is a huge problem with games at home. And it's something that we need to figure out how to get out of. Because it's going to cause problems down the line. Because you can't keep always relying on your away form. Like, if you go last 6 games, we are 11th place, right? If you want to go home form, our home form, we're in 20th. Our away form, we're top. If you go in goals, we are surprisingly 10th. Kind of thing. This is the thing that I want to really understand. Like, in this half of the season and in the first half of the season, he amused a total of 67 points for us, 50 points last season, and 26 so far. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's getting those points. Like, we need to get to 50 points as fast as humanly possible. The faster we get to 50, the better. The quicker we get there, the better it is, the more you can go, right, you're probably going to be a bit safe. And you can not take your foot off the gas, because I don't want us to do that, but I want us to make sure we're in a good position to be there or thereabouts. Like, well, in each, though, coin I had he's looking at. Hey, doing Ryan, how you doing, mate? I hope you're well. I think there's a lot I think a lot of them who are calling for Danny's head genuinely had higher expectations. They had higher expectations of where it needed to be. Oh, and I'll tell you this. It seems that some monkers on the web says, especially this guy with a purple post saying he's responsible for bringing in players from last season in the right balance. GE, what's his name on the thing? Cause that sounds like someone I recognise who I think got banned from my community. Is it on the official channel? Let's have a look. If you know it, mate. If you know it, mate, let me know. Oh, yeah, mate. He banned from my channel. I know who it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's him. He banned from my channel. He's a knobhead. He's an absolute knobhead. He done my head in. He absolutely done my head in. Kind of thing. Just getting back. Anyone called for us that needs to be ignored. The unhappy people are always the loudest. I agree. Yeah, he banned from my channel. He's had about 5 different... he's had 5 different profiles that are banned already. So he's just... Yeah, he's a miserable sod. He really is. There is a point where you go, they are his players. But I don't think Danny found a system he likes properly. And I don't think he's been able to find a settled side because he struggled to get players fit and then players not be suspended and stuff like that. As soon as you said purple, I had a funny feeling I knew it was, mate. Funny that. But I think the thing is, you got to really look at the long-term picture. But where we were last season, where we are now, we are a team in transition, right? A transitional team from one season to the next is always going to be difficult. Now, for me, I will definitely be wanting to get some of the players sorted, trying to figure out what they're going to do next, kind of thing. Like, keep in mind, Danny's a new manager. He's like 20 years old striker with great potential. It takes time, I agree. Oh, tell me about it. Quality player, the quality player, the quality blah, blah, blah. This is blah, blah, blah. Honestly, how people expect tops it. The thing is, I think there's a lot of people who saw what Danny did last season and was very much looking at how they were gonna go, right? And this is the thing. I didn't want, generally, I looked at this and I didn't want a top 6 kind of thing. I would have liked it, but I didn't want it because I didn't think that's what we were going to have. I've literally had my thing all season and said, mid-table is a good finish for us, a very good finish. And then you build on that. Danny comments about the ambition side of things. I think that's just him being a very young manager and wanting to prove himself and show people he can do this. There might be a little bit of, look, I can do this, where people have told him he can't. And I like that. I have no problem with a manager coming out and say, this is my ambition, and sometimes if the club, let's say if the club matches it. It does seem a bit harsh, like calling DC out there, but I think it was more in a sense of, look, I have my ambition, they know this, but I want to see what happens. He wants to see progression. There were a lot of times in January last season where you saw that we had deals done and then they've fallen through. And I think he's really trying not to have that situation again. They are his players to an extent, but system-wise, we're still probably having to use Darren Moore's system with these players here. That's probably about right, Barry. Out of 15 players this season and last, you're bound to have a few that underperform. And gutted about if one this season, but I think with the right additions, everything will change. I agree. Hey, I always look forward to being able to see the apart from where you're in dire straits. I love mid-table season. Top six, those are my expectations for every championship season. I look at it when we're done in the transfer window. I also look at how strong the league is. And this season, I have thought that I generally think a top 6 finish was a little bit out there. I'll be honest with you. I would have wanted it. Don't get me wrong. Anybody that wouldn't say they wouldn't take it is dumb. But last night was it's just frustration. It's really just frustration with it all. And it'll be interesting to see what we do here. Because at the end of the day, we really want to see Danny get the players he wants in January. I will be interested to see what Danny brings in January as well. Now, one of the things that Danny has said in the past, he wants contract to be looked at and start getting done. And I'm hoping that it's getting done. I'm hoping that promises have been kept. Because one of the things we know is sometimes Danny might have been promised one thing, doesn't get something else. And I generally think maybe that is the case. But with what happened with HMRC again, I think that kind of blindsided Danny a little bit. I don't think Danny was expecting that. Danny wasn't expecting to walk into that situation and be asking questions about it. It's not a bit to do so. Danny will have a list of players he wants to go after. Him and Kevin Beaverdale will have pointed out who he wants to go for. He's now got to make the case, right? One of the other things you've got is chance here he might be like, well, I got you Ugbo, why is that not working? Ugbo's a confident player. Ugbo just missing a goal. Even if one came off his backside, if one came off his backside, if one ended up being off his shin, he gets a goal in the league. You're looking at this very differently, going, great, fantastic, finally got that goal. Top 10 will be brilliant season. For me, we said 15th at most start of season. So top 10 is our achievement. Good point. And you look at Blackburn, they're another frustrating side. They just keep grinding results like the other teams in the city. It's like exciting or anything, but grinding out wins. The thing is that's one of the things you've got to give them. They grind out results. And you don't get to being where they are without A, grinding out results, and B, being able to be defensively solid. They hadn't conceded in 5 games away now. And that's a sign of a very good defense. Do we have a good defense? I'd probably say we were lacking a defender in the summer. We needed another defender there. We tried to get one on deadline day and we didn't get him. Now, did we end up getting the right people in Danny wanted? Yeah. Could this be a lot different if Olaf hadn't got injured? Possibly, because I like how Olaf was playing. We have impact players. Pato's very much one of them and does well when he comes on. The thing is, I saw people slating Pato and Jamal Lowe, and it's like, well, they're the two that got a 3-point versus Derby. But I thought the experiment of playing Jamal Lowe up top, he tried it. I think it was okay. Maybe didn't work as well as we wanted it to. Like, you look at the first game of the season, Plymouth, we played that way. We did it at Plymouth once, and once only since then, and we got battered 6-2. I think there's a style of play Danny wants to play, but they're not able to make it. I don't think they're able to do that style of play yet. And I always get worried when I have a look in German football a lot to see what's going on, to find out what clubs are doing what. And I always get worried when a German sacking happens, because you've got to remember, Danny doesn't go home. Like at the minute, Danny's here on his own. Family are back at home. So you always look at it and you go, okay, what do you do next? Kind of thing. So it's that kind of stuff that I find interesting, right? I find it interesting. You got to remember, he's literally not at, he's not at home. He's away from his kids. And that got to be difficult. I don't think we thought Elway and Femo would get injured basically for the start of the season. I think Femo, Akin has been a massive blow. Akin really was steadying that defense really well. Actually, let's just go to that game a minute, because I kind of want to check something here and see what it brings up for us. Because when did he get injured? Was it September, October? Right. Akin got injured, Portsmouth. So let's go from September. September 3-2, lost 2-1. 1-1-0 versus Blackpool, 1-1 with QPR. October 1-1 with Brentford, beat Pompey, got a 0-0 with Swansea, lost to Burnley, beat Coventry, beat Hull, 1-1 with Cardiff, 1-0 with United, 2-0 versus Norwich. There's a game missing there, Watford. I don't know why it's not there. Oh no, Watford was after that. 6-2 with Watford. 1-0 versus Blackburn, 1-1 with Preston, 2-1 versus Derby, right? So it's interesting. They would have a month-long winter break this time of year too. Yeah, exactly. There's that as well. There's that very much so. I'd be surprised if we actually finished 10th or 9th. Be a good achievement. I think next season we should have the few players go and bring in the right players that are good enough for the league. I agree. That's a good sentiment to put, mate. I like that a lot. I think the sentiment's very true. I think you've got to be really smart with that one. So it's interesting, that one. That is an interesting one. Don't get me wrong. I think that would be really good to do. And I think it's about progression. It's about getting progression, and that's the thing. Oh, Femero was a huge loss, massive loss, and a lot of people don't rate him. But I do. I think he's one of the better players. But I think for us going forward last night, we had chances, didn't take them. There's a part of me that goes, are we playing as a team this season? Or is it playing as a team, as individual, trying to mold into a team? Because last season, there was a real togetherness and team spirit. And it doesn't seem to be there when we're at home. It seems like there's a lot of people trying to get that kind of thing. How many losses since Famero's injury? Let's have a look. That is a good question. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four losses since Femero's injury. 4, mate. So it's been about 4. You go start the season though, like one of the games that I was really shocked with was the Millwall game. The Millwall game, when we lost 3-0, I didn't think we were 3-0. That was a 3-0 off, but it's interesting. We're not. Thing is, here's the thing. Danny said we didn't do everything right, but we came close, right? We came close to it. And he's right. We did come very, very, very close to it. The squad is all in. Is all in. It's competitive in this league. I will not say we did everything 100%, but we came close. Burnley have 4 wins of their own, and that's big self-confidence, right? And to win the game, you need clean sheets. The better things. And the thing, we got to go back to, had they really gelled together? Maybe. There might be a case of that, had they not gelled yet. And it normally, sometimes if a team hasn't gelled yet, it takes some till about January to gel. Maybe that is the case, Barry. It could be a case. But I think there's a part of me that just, with Danny at the minute, it's just finding that aspect where you can get it to work. And that's a hard thing. Don't look at just one game, look at all 20. What do you mean, mate? I didn't look at... What do you mean? I spoke about the games. What do you mean, Rum Pump Man? He asked me what he asked me the games since Femero been lost. So I did, Rum Pump Man. That's the game he asked me to look at. He asked me to look at the games since we lost Femero. So that's what I looked at. I don't get what you mean. What are you trying to say? But explain what you mean, mate, because I'm a bit confused with that. If you actually look at it as a whole, like, we started the season really well, 4-0. We got beat by Sunderland 4-0. We got beat by Leeds 2-0. We lost to Millwall 3-0. I'm not counting any cup games because cup games don't count. 1-1 QPR, 2-1 Luton, 3-2 versus West Brom, and that was a home game, that West Brom. 2-1 versus Pompey, 0-0 versus Swansea, 2-0 versus Burnley, 2-1 versus Coventry. And this is October you're looking at there. November, 2-0 versus Hull, 1-1 versus Cardiff City, 1-0 versus Sheffield United to them, 2-0 versus Norwich, a win to us, 6-2 battering versus Watford, 1-0 versus Blackburn, 1-1 with Preston, and a 2-1 win with Derby. They are all our games. We're a mid-table team. These results scream mid-table because they're so inconsistent. They're not consistent enough. If you're going to be up there, you need to have a consistency of 4 or 5 games where you're winning. I meant the overall performance our area bad, but I think there's a mid-table squad there. Yeah, I think there is. You look at some of these games as well. It's where you look at some of them. Derby, I don't think we deserved anything, and we got all 3 points. Preston, we got a draw, and we were crap. But Blackburn Rovers, we were much better. And I think you can see the tiredness in Danny, because Danny's not used to how quick that is, the turnaround. He did it last season, but this is his first time doing it for a full season. When he did it last year, he was properly energized and ready. So he'll be ready to plan for the next season. One thing that massively frustrates me with Wednesday, and I saw it last night, was the passing around in little areas by our goal when it crowded the opposition play. Very dangerous games play. I agree. The first 2 games are low, green, mid-table, 4-0 win, 4-0 defeat. Yep. The thing is, did we play better than when we played Preston? Yes, we did. We played much better, but the bar wasn't set that high, right? Our next couple of fixtures in December are Oxford at the weekend, Stoke at home on the 21st, Middlesbrough away on the 26th, Preston away on the 29th. We got good away record, but we have to turn up in these games even away. And it's going to be interesting to see what the mental side of this squad is. Because mentally, you go into January, it's Derby, it's Millwall, it's Leeds, it's Bristol City, it's QPR. So tough games. Any update on Mikel Antonio? The last update I heard is that he had surgery on his leg, and I think they were saying that he might be out for some time. That was the last bit I heard about, but it wasn't great, was it? It's when you see the car, you are thinking you're a very, very lucky boy to walk out of that. Not walk out of it, but you know what I mean, not be as any badly injured. Where's West Ham? There it is. West Ham, please. Damn. Have a look. Where is it? So it'd be interesting to see there. What do you think will happen with Chancey? Do you think he will be out, or are we done? We're stuck with him, mate. What can I ask? Why do you think he'll be out? But I've had this question before, right? Until someone comes and gives Chansiri an offer for the club he deems suitable for the club, Chansiri will be here for as long as he can, right? And that's the thing. Chansiri will be here for more years. I've been covering Wednesday on the YouTube side of it since 2011, 2012, right? So 2015 is where we've had it. I can see him being here even longer. I think it's going to be another 5, 6, 7 years, unless someone comes in with an offer he seems fit to accept. Chansiri can still be here, mate. And I think that's the meat of it all. If we actually did finish top 10 outside playoff, the first time since the 06-07 season, where we first appointed Brian Laws, be interesting. A serious leg injury after car crash at his age would be a miracle to return fully, sadly. It would, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. Kind of thing. It wouldn't be out of the possibility. I've seen it happen. Here's an interesting, if your team, how teams look with injury kind of thing. Like Brighton has had 17 injuries, 638 days lost. It could have probably take 150 million plus bid to move him. At the ground, the squad, and then whoever comes in have got to have a plan. That's the big thing. Whoever comes in has to have a plan, right? And that's the big one for me. You have to come in and you have to have a plan for it. Ian and Alex, how you doing? Hope you well. Hope Lola's well. Yeah, for me, you've got to have a plan. If there is a plan on what you want to do with the squad, then fantastic. That's what I want. That's the thing I will be really interested to see how it would be, if that makes sense. Really think it would be really good to do. So yeah, it's very, very interesting to see with it. I'd be very, yeah. This is the ambition and maybe unrealistic, but I read Brighton are considering loan now. I would love to get him in. Very hard. I think it's very, very hard to get him in. I think he'd go to, say, I think he generally would go to somewhere like a Leicester. He would be good, though. I'd love to get him in. That's the thing I will be. Happy with the overall direction is good. I think the overall direction good. Like, the goal Bailey scored last night, it won't help with people calling for him to come back. And I do understand it. I get why people want him to come back. It's interesting as well. It's Danny said, playing why he picked Jamal Lowe, he said it's not about their names. He said, this is how I choose my team. It's game by game because I'm convinced in my decision. It's not about names. It's not about how we can win. It's how we can win games or how much impact we can have. And here's the thing. That's the thing. We can continue to create opportunity in the area. If we have good dribbles, sometimes then we find a teammate or an extra pass to create a good opportunity to better opportunity. We work on this again and again. And this could be one of Danny's biggest downfalls, right? One of the different downfalls could be that he picks the team game by game and not on how they're doing in terms of on how they're doing on form and how they've been. And that might be why we have a really unsettled starting lineup. You never know from what to what. 26 people watching, 10 likes. Get those likes up, people. We did a mid-stream today as well, or around half 12, or it was 12 till about half 12. Really good stream. It was a vertical stream. It was in the YouTube Shorts. Really enjoyed it. We've done something a bit different. There was no service to Jamal Lowe last night. No, there wasn't. And again, that's been another one thing that has annoyed me, that we got players who can deliver service, but two of them tend to cut inside more than they do otherwise. If Chante could play our bills on time, there's not much else wrong with him. To be honest, yeah, we don't have a lot of cash and we rely on loans, fees, and youth. But if and when we get Prem, it could be different. I agree. Have you any ideas who we're looking at getting in? I know we've been speaking to a Premier League club about a loan. I just don't know where it is yet. Name for your lunchtime stream, mate. What about loser owl like loose women? That's not a bad idea, mate. So, Mike, once that comes up, send me your ideas, because I think that'll be a good idea. None of those, none of them are. No one's getting good service. The only one who seems to get a good ball in is Johnson. And whenever Johnson's looking in base, the two that are meant to do it with the overlapping don't get a good crossing. And that's the thing. They need to get that crossing. Yeah, if Masava and Gasal could play a 5-yard pass, Obo will get his first goal in August. I agree, Alex. I agree. And there is that. There's been talk with me and some other people I know about, do we let one of those two go? Do we let one of Masaba or Gasama go to bring someone in who will cross the ball? Yeah, what's that down, mate? What's that Facebook and Instagram are all down? Johnson was very quiet last night, but he didn't get given the ball as much. When he did get given the ball, he was basically a little bit not useless, but didn't work to better his ability. I actually think, personally, I think Johnson could do with a break soon. But who are you going to put in to play that Johnson role? Like, who would you put in to play that Johnson role? I think he could do with a bit of a break, but I'm not sure. Nah, mate. It's Instagram, Facebook, and it's a technical error, they said. So it's not great, to be fair. There'll be a lot of people who will need to use it. It's the whole thing. It's basically the whole meta thing. It's a bit of annoying because my missus probably won't be able to use Meta Quest if she wanted to tonight. Kabachi could be back for Stoke or the end of December, is what I think Danny said. I think originally they said he could be back for Stoke, and that would be huge. Masaba and Gath don't look for passes first. They look for goal priority as a priority. Yeah, that, Alex, is one of their biggest faults. They look for the personal glory than the overall, team play. And that, for me, is a big thing I don't like. I like them to look up more. When Masaba looks up and looks up again, he's much better. He's a better player when he looks up and uses his head to see where people are going, to see that there's a person on. I don't know if it's lack of communication still, but they are so much better when they put their heads up. Like, look at the goal Mick scored. Mick goal versus Preston were due to Gassama looking up twice, seeing he was there, goal. And that kind of thing. We nearly had a couple of those chances with Smith near the end of the Blackburn game. Pato kept on getting good crosses in. Valentine kept on getting good crosses in. Valentine was actually one of the ones where his first initial thingy to look up when he got the ball. Night Lola, sleep well. Last two games, there's definitely been something up with Marv. He seems so frustrated. There's a lot of stuff going on with Marv outside of football. Nothing bad, just personal life. There's a lot of stuff going on with his personal life that's probably not helping with things at the minute. So, Marv a little bit gets that kind of path. There is stuff going on behind the scenes with him at the minute. So I would genuinely, not gonna lie, I would genuinely be, I'll be genuinely just have a little bit of a, what's the word? Give him a little bit of a pass for now, but there is something with that at the minute. So I'm not gonna go into it. It's not my place to say. But there is some personal stuff which probably ain't great for him. So there is that. So we'll see. But empathy? What do you mean by empathy? So yeah, I kind of give him a little path with that one because we know what he can do and maybe it'll come good after Christmas, just give him that time. But it is what it is. There's not a lot we can do about it. I like a goal for Marv, to be fair, but he's doing really well. Oh yeah, empathy, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, with the Johnson situation, it's about just giving him a bit of time and just, he probably won that, probably could do with just people rallying around him a little bit more. And probably a break probably wouldn't do him the best of will, but we have to remember footballers have their own thing going on once they cross that white line and they put that behind them to do their job. Then when they cross over that white line to stop being footballers, they're then fathers, the husbands, the partners, whatever. They've got other things that are going on that are beyond football. So I think just see what happens. There's probably a lot of frustration personally for him at the minute. So it's that whole thing, kid glove with it. But I would like to see him have a break. I'd be interested to see what happens. We do love our Neymar. Yep. The thing is, I want to see a difference in how we play at home. Generally, I want to see a difference how we play at home. And I want to see us play a certain way in terms of balls into the box. If we could get a string of balls into the box and a low one, so it's not going to hit with a low block, only takes someone to put a foot on it, you're in. And there's so many goals we conceded this year where it's been a low ball into the box and it's good. We're just missing someone to get on the end of them. And that's the thing. trenches in midfield next season with Charles gone and Bannon retiring probably. But Baz has got another year or two in him. It'll be interesting to see what Baz does. I think he got another year or two in him. But I think in the if he does have another year or two in with him, you start to say, look, let's start phasing you out so the club doesn't rely on you all the time and start getting someone used to being the new Barry Bannon or in that position themselves. We are missing a Will Vault type of player in terms of that defensive mid. I think Chalobah could be that. And I think Chalobah should start next game. Generally, I think Chalobah should start next game. Give him a run versus Oxford. And just give us that level of extra man in between midfield and defence. I think it will work really well. What we're missing, ideally, is someone like a Massimo Luongo who could go forward, pass the ball, mop up behind, score some goals at times as well. So we are missing the creativity as well. So it'll be interesting what we do. But guys, I have been streaming for nearly an hour now. So I'm going to have a... I'm going to go have a rest of my evening. I'm going to go have some present for my little boy. Birthday tomorrow. There'll be video tomorrow at some point. So keep an eye out. There is one that I want to do, which I've just seen. There should be the press conference. Remember, if you're watching the press conference live, and then you're in the YouTube chat, remember the club will see your chats and they will but they won't respond to it. So I've noticed some people will respond, try and type as in that the club are going to see it and they're going to get answers. You're not going to get answers. You're not going to get them. The club will see it though. Be very very much aware the club do monitor the YouTube chat, and there have been cases where people have been questioned about some of their replies and what they said in there, and had knocks on the doors and some certain letter through the post saying, we want you to come in for a meeting to talk about that. I know one person who got done very heavily for that, to be fair. See you later, mate. Have a good night. I'll be watching Juventus Man City. I'm going to put some football on, but I don't know what yet. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one.